Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, Black Four-Leaf Clover, from Check-In. Chapter 21. Is this what it feels like to control magic power? Nuo Owl was at a loss, thinking about it. The magical power that was originally like a wild horse surged out of her body. Finally, a water ball is formed and suspended in midair. This is the simplest, spell magic manipulation that does not require a magic book to be unlocked. However, in the past, there was absolutely no way to do this. Thinking of the grievances he suffered in the past, Nuo Owl hugged Kuroba into his arms with tears in his eyes. Kuroba, thank you very much. Hearing the crying voice of thanks in his ear, the hot breath, and the squeeze of noble high-grade meat, Kuroba touched the tip of his nose helplessly and said, well, mastering magic doesn't mean that you can use it well in the world, on the battlefield. If you want to stand out in the selection of the magic knights, you still need to work hard. By the way, your chest makes me a little out of breath. What? Nuo Owl let out a cry, quickly let go of his hands, and took a few steps back before bowing his head blushing. Seeing this scene, Chairsho and Mimosha couldn't help being stunned. If Chairsho is a narcissist and Mimosha is a savage tongue, then Nuo Owl is a little tsundere in their eyes. Now facing a refugee, they actually showed the posture of a little girl, which subverted their cognition. By the way, there should be a monster cave nearby. Mimosa, your magic should come in handy. Kuroba looked at Mimosa. What he wants most is the system-focused rewards. How do you know what magic I know? Mimosa looked slightly surprised. But after seeing Chairsho nodded, he still found the magic book. The coordinates of the plant creation magic, the magic flower. The magic power surged out, and soon the surrounding plants were seen, and in front of Mimosa, a three-dimensional forest model was quickly formed. It also shows that some animals and plants with magical fluctuations exist. There are a lot of monsters in this forest, but in the mountain 5 kilometers away from here, there is a wave with strong magic power, which should be where the cave of monsters is located. Mimosa said, pointing at the light spot at the top with a frown. Her plant magic can sense the nearby magic fluctuations through skin grafting for precise feedback. However, the forest in front of me is equivalent to Mimosa's eyes. Kuroba silently noted down the direction, grabbed Nuo Owl's shoulder, and said, thank you, Mimosa, this bottle of potion is for you. Nuo Owl and I will go back after looking at it. Throwing out the last bottle of high-level magic power potion, Kuroba's magic power surged, and the magic broom that controlled the power of Sanju shot out. Potion. The expressions of Mimosha and Chairsho couldn't help but change. Seeing the magic potion in their hands that was exactly the same as what Nuo Owl had just obtained, their pupils suddenly shrank. They thought that it was already a precious orphan potion just now, but they never thought of it at all. Kuroba still has a second bottle in hand. Does this mean that there is a third bottle, a fourth bottle? Brother Wong, what? How? Mimosha couldn't help asking. After all, this magical potion is so precious that even her royal family has never seen anything more precious than this. Quick, put it away quickly, this thing is too beautiful. Chairsho said anxiously. With this kind of potion, even a person like Nuo Owl who cannot control magic power can unlock 3 magic spells in an instant. How to use it for others, and what are the consequences? At least, if Mimosa, who is already a genius, is used, then she may become an even better star. Roland, you can't spread the word about what happened today, or don't blame me for being rude. Chairsho turned to look at Roland. In his eyes, a bottle of medicine can produce a genius. Then Kuroba will be a mobile talent pool. If the formula of the magic potion can be obtained, for the four-leaf clover kingdom. The overall strength, I'm afraid it will continue to rise slowly. Therefore, he has to report this matter to the Magic Emperor urgently. However, as soon as this idea came up, Chairsho felt the magic power in Roland's body, and it surged out all of a sudden. That intensity is actually 1 or 2 points stronger than the usual regular assessment. Roland, what is it in your hand? Chairsho asked urgently. Roland woke up suddenly. After hesitating for a moment, he opened his hand, revealing the magic potion bottle abandoned by Nuo Owl. Deputy Captain Ziersho, I saw that this potion bottle was intended to see if there was a drop or 2 left, but I didn't expect that the cells in the body seemed to breathe just as I approached it. Roland quickly explained. Chi Airshow couldn't help being startled, and quickly snatched the magic potion bottle and put it under his nostrils. A special fragrance, following Chairshow's breath, was almost straight to the heart. The cells all over his body smell like breathing. The magic power that had been stabilized in the body was boiling even more. Feeling the changes in his body, Chi Airshow's expression changed drastically. Quickly suppressing the surge of magic power in his body, he looked at the vial that didn't even have a drop of magic potion in it, and his face was filled with disbelief. Now he finally understood why Nuo-Al unlocked the poses one after another. Just by sniffing it, it will have this effect. If the whole bottle is not up to this standard, then it is a pig. This gave Chairshow a bold idea. Deputy Captain Chairshow, your smile is a bit, not pretty. Roland couldn't help saying while looking at Chairshow, who was giggling while sniffing the magic potion bottle. However, to Chairshow, who had a bold idea in his heart, it didn't matter whether he was beautiful or not. He quickly whispered in the ears of Roland and Mimosa. Brother Wong, are you serious? Mimosa was shocked. Even Roland looked in disbelief. However, what's more, looking at the magic potion bottle in Chairshow's hand, he looked resentful. If he had known that there was still such an operation, he would not have handed over the magic potion bottle even if he was killed. Of course, I think this method will definitely work. Chi Airshow flicked the bangs on his forehead, and said viciously, let's go back quickly now, and the Magic Emperor will be shocked. This time we picked up treasure. If this potion is used properly, it may be able to elevate the strength of our four-leaf clover kingdom to a higher level, maybe even join the ranks of empires. Facing Chi Airshow, who was looking forward to the future, Roland couldn't help but muttered, Deputy Captain Chi Airshow, don't forget to leave some for me when the time comes, I will also have the credit. Understood, you go back and pack up quickly, we're going back to the capital now. Chi Airshow rolled his eyes, and took another deep breath into the bottle. Feel the cells in the body, as if singing a symphony. Kershul's smile became even more narcissistic. When I think of my bold idea. This riding horse is really fragrant. Brother Wong, there are 3 huge magical powers approaching quickly. Mimosa suddenly shouted anxiously. Kersh quickly capped the empty medicine bottle and followed Mimosa's line of sight. The first thing that came into view was the 3 figures who were rushing quickly with magic brooms. Is it Nozel? Ziershow frowned, and instantly understood that the 3 of them probably came because of Nozel. Thinking of what happened to Kuroba, Ziershow quickly waved his hands and shouted, Nozel, if you want to find Noel, go to the monster cave in the east. This time, Nuo-Al had a lot of luck. He not only controlled the magic power, but also unlocked 3 magic powers at once. This is so beautiful. By the way, don't shoot Kuroba, or I will be in a hurry with you. The slightly elongated voice echoed between the heaven and the earth. Nozel, who had been running day and night all day, originally planned to stop for a while, but the moment he heard the monster cave. The number of sister controllers is off the charts. He didn't even have the slightest thought of staying, and quickly passed by. Brother Wong, do we want to chase? Mimosa couldn't help asking. Chasing. Chairshow shook his head quickly and said, if we let them know about the potion and we have the potion, it won't be beautiful. I have reminded them just now that if you must provoke Kuroba, you should also make Nebra and Solid suffer. Let's hurry up. On the other hand, for Kuroba to drive the 3 bamboo magic broom, the 5-kilometer journey is only a few minutes. When he appeared above the large rocky basin, he soon saw a huge stone cave appearing on the cliff. It's here, how long do you want to hold me? Are you reluctant to let go? Kuroba took a look and hugged his Nuo-Al tightly. Maybe it's because I haven't successfully used the magic broom to fly into the sky, facing the first experience, under the control of Kuroba, a bold old driver. Undoubtedly, I was a little afraid of heights, and when I got in the car, I was so scared that I hugged tightly. I don't care about it. Nuo-Al blushed and quickly retorted, I can also use a magic broom now, and I won't need you in the future. While speaking, Nuo-Al jumped down behind Kuroba, but for a while his heart was empty, as if he had lost his sense of security. Can't help but look back at Kuroba one more time. Kuroba didn't pay attention to this little girl's thoughts, and without looking back, she plunged into the monster cave and said, wait for me here, I'll go in and have a look. After leaving these words, Kuroba sank into the monster cave. As soon as he set foot in the cave, Kuroba not only did not find any trace of the monster, but also smelled a strong smell of blood in the air. Ding dang, congratulations to the host for arriving at the Warcraft Cave. I am currently signing in for the host. The check-in time is 1 minute. If you leave halfway, the check-in will fail and the random task will disappear. The system's ethereal prompt sounded suddenly. Kuroba's face brightened, and he didn't forget to look around. However, following his observation, there are obviously a lot more in the cave, which do not belong to the claw marks of monsters, but the attacks of human magic. Could someone be there first? Kuroba frowned. This kind of Warcraft cave is rarely visited by people. After all, this is not a strong magic zone, and the monsters it owns are all low-level existences. The blood on the body, as well as the magic beast materials, are not very useful. Only when they are in chaos, will they be ordered to clear them up. Otherwise, in normal times, you would keep your eyes open and close your eyes. However, before Kuroba figured it out, the ethereal voice of the system sounded again. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for signing in successfully in the Warcraft Cave and obtaining the second source of magic power, Thunder Dragon Slayer magic. Thunder Dragon Slayer magic. Kuroba couldn't help raising his brows, never thinking of Luxas dragon slaying magic. This is the S in fairy tale, and even the existence of Super S-level magisters in the later period. He even had the record of defeating the Crow's Tail of the Dark Guild by one person, the entire elite record. According to Kuroba's understanding, Luxas dragon slaying magic form can be divided into 3 levels. First, it is an ordinary dragon slayer magic form. Second, dragon scale mode. Third, half dragon, or even full dragon form. Of course, this is just Kuroba's guess, right? It still depends on the system property page. Thinking of this, Kuroba thought, and the attribute interface was opened directly. Host. Kuroba. Magic. Field 0. Magic Control. Ultimate. Magic. Ice Modeling Magic Beginner. Lightning Dragon Slayer Magic Beginner. Looking at the newly appeared elementary Lightning Dragon Slayer magic in the property page, Kuroba touched the tip of his nose, not wanting to be disappointed, and withdrew from the space of consciousness. After looking around, though, Kuroba didn't find a second grimoire. Could it be that 2 attributes share a grimoire? Kuroba frowned. He remembered that the system had mentioned that his grimoire was a Clover level. As the magic controlled increases, the level will rise steadily. Nuo Al, are you a piece of trash? Are you crazy? How dare you come to this kind of place? Let us find you hard, come back with us quickly. Solid's sharp voice came from outside the cave. Brother Wong, can you let go of your hand? I have become very strong and able to participate in battles, and I am also qualified to join the Magic Knights. Nuo Al explained anxiously. Originally, when seeing Kuroba enter the Warcraft Cave, Nuo Al also cultivated his courage and planned to set foot in the Warcraft Cave to test his current strength. It is also necessary to build up confidence for returning to the castle of the royal family of Silpha in the future. However, Jean Noel never thought that Nozel would arrive with his 2 brothers and sisters. Nuo Al, you dare to resist, who gave you the confidence, and now you are really rebelling. Nebra raised his hand suddenly, and slapped Nuo Al's pretty face. Even Nozel, who was standing not far away with a frown and a cold face, didn't expect the violent scene at all. Facing this slap so close at hand, the only thing that can be done is to watch helplessly. Boom! The berserk magic frenzy detonated without warning at this moment, turned into a gust of wind, and rolled towards the 4 people in the field. The violent scene changed Nozel's expression, not to mention Solid and Nebra. The 2 of them were exposed to the impact, and they felt inexplicably suffocated. It was as if an invisible big hand was pinching their throats, and the slaps they slapped also stagnated for an instant. However, before they could react, a wave of magic power quickly appeared above Solid and Nebra. Ice Creation Magic, Ice Hammer. A huge ice hammer suddenly appeared in the void, and directly hit the 2 of them. Boom! With the release of huge power, the 2 hit the ground hard at once, and even the rock floor below cracked. Solid and Nebra even made a splash, and opened their mouths to spit out a mouthful of blood. The violent scene changed Nozel's face drastically. He was only a little slow, but he still had the confidence to stop the magic of long-range sniping. However, it never occurred to him that someone had such a strong control over magic that he could concretize magic across a distance of tens of meters. Mercury Spear. After Nozel lost his mind for a while, he quickly woke up and grabbed the void with his right hand. The magic power emerged and turned into a spear of mercury, directly crushing the ice hammer. At the same time, his eyes turned in vain, and he locked in the monster cave. Whoever dares to sneak attack me, get out and die. Solid struggled to get up on the ground. Who? Kuroba's voice came from the Warcraft cave. Soon, under the watchful eyes of everyone, he walked out slowly, and said with a warm smile, "Didn't you ask just now, where did Nuo Owl get his confidence? I can tell you now that I gave her confidence." Speaking of this, Kuroba looked at Nebra with great interest and said, "And you ugly woman, don't say trash on the left and trash on the right. If I let you know that the trash in your mouth is better than you, is it even worse than trash?" The slightly elongated voice echoed between the heaven and the earth. At this moment, it seemed to be infused with magic voice, and it did not dissipate for a long time. Looking at the unscrupulous Kuroba, only one word remained in the minds of Nebra and Solid. Crazy. This refugee is crazy to ride a horse. Not only did he attack the royal family, but he also insulted her as a waste. Brother Wong, hurry up and kill this refugee for me. He dared to attack the royal family, this is a capital crime. Nebra roared hysterically. My face is scratched, my beauty. The hysterical voice echoed in Sifang Tianyu, causing Nuo Owl's expression to change dramatically. In the four-leaf clover kingdom, under this kind of hierarchy solidification, attacking the royal family is a capital offense. However, before Nozel could speak, Kuroba turned his eyes in vain, met Nozel's gaze and said, "You have to protect them." Creation magic of Ice Ocean. The magic book shaped by ice crystals burst into dazzling white light in an instant. The piercing cold wind exploded directly centered on Kuroba like a frenzy. The blue ice crystals are like a tsunami, sweeping across the entire rocky basin in a rolling manner. The violent scene caused Nozel's expression to change drastically, and before he could speak, Nozel also acted instantly. Mercury Defense. Boom. The impenetrable Mercury city wall was built in the blink of an eye, and collided with the revolving ice crystals, making a thunderous crash. Feeling this piercing chill, and the sudden burst of suffocating magic power fluctuations, Solid and Nebra's faces turned pale. Brother Wong, this refugee's magic power is stronger than Solid and me, it's impossible. Nebra's expression turned livid, and he shouted anxiously, is he planning to kill us here? It's crazy. Brother Wong is the head of the silver-winged vulture, he is looking for death. Seeing Nebra growling hysterically and losing his composure, Noel opened his mouth to explain something. Nebra, Solid, shut up. Nozel snorted coldly. Prepare to meet the enemy. The opponent is probably a member of the Diamond Kingdom. The kid just now is covering us. He can't even see this. You are disgracing the face of our Silva royal family. Cover. Solid and Nebra, even Nuo Owl couldn't help being taken aback. It never occurred to me that Nozel and Kuroba just met each other, and it turned into a rhythm of confirming their eyes and meeting the right person. Bang bang bang. A series of low-pitched explosions sounded suddenly. As Nozel scattered the Mercury City wall, the first thing that caught his eye was the silhouettes rushing out of the ice crystals one after another. Bastard, how dare you sneak attack our Bahui general? A strong man with a figure like an iron tower just rushed out of the ice crystal, and roared with a gloomy face. Immediately after him, there were three figures, all of which had inlaid traces of magic gems on their foreheads. Two of them, in Nozel's eyes, were still unfamiliar young faces. As the leader of the Silver-Winged Eagle, it is not the first time that Nozel has fought against people from the Diamond Kingdom. It never occurred to him that the other party would cross the border and come to such a place. Calm down, Rocks, don't forget the purpose of our visit this time, but to assess two newcomers. A slender man with aqua blue hair also flashed out from the side. However, this time, I didn't expect that even people from the royal family would be attracted by simply making a bait. Having said that, the aqua blue-haired Ragus looked at Nozel playfully. Leader of the silver-winged vulture, it seems that this time, we are going to make a great contribution. If you take down the Silpha royal family, you four-leaf clover kingdom will not know what expression it will be. The playful voice echoed in Sifang Tianyu. Seeing the five figures standing in the air, the expressions of Solid and Nebra changed drastically. After all, 8 Wei Zhong is the trump card of Diamond Kingdom. However, before they could open their mouths, an unexpected voice sounded. 5 volts 5, this is just right. Kuroba glanced at Nozel and said, you are in charge of the 3 over there, and Nozel and I will deal with the 2 here. Is there any objection? Or leave it all to me and Nuo Al, and you can just sit and cool off. Nor Al never thought that he would be counted in the battle. After all, in her eyes, she has just mastered grimoire and has no actual combat experience. Bastard. You. Nebra snapped angrily. However, before he finished speaking, he was stopped by Nozel, who looked at Nuo Al and said, no Al, if you can't do it, step aside, I can block 2 with 1. Facing Nozel, who resembles his mother, Nozel has a special sister controlling feeling in his heart. For Solid, and Nebra, he showed indifference, but for Noel's safety, he couldn't ignore it. It can be said that Noel has been excluded in order to keep her from fighting. Will not disappear like my mother. No, Brother Wong, Kuroba said I can do it, so I can do it. Nuo Al nodded suddenly. I am no longer a waste. The sonorous and forceful words fell. Nuo Al took out the magic branch from his waist, and looked solemnly at the 2 Bahui generals who were about the same age as him, tens of meters away, their hearts were beating wildly. There is no problem with being a hero, but it is another matter to face it. Don't worry, with me here, you can make a scene as much as you like. Kuroba rubbed Nuo Al's head unexpectedly, and looked at the 2 familiar faces. This guy wants to join hands with trash, he will definitely regret it after a while. Nebra said with a grim face. At that time, he will definitely ask us for support. Solid gritted his teeth and nodded in agreement. Only Nozel, frowning slightly, stared at Nozel worriedly. Haha, the boy's magic fluctuations just now are really good, and he should be able to reach the upper level too, but you guys are unlucky, and you picked 2 lunatics as opponents, I hope you don't despair too quickly. Bu Rocks laughed brazenly. Stand up. They are the so-called veteran 8-way generals, and they still know a thing or two about the strength of these 2 newcomers. Seeing these words being left behind, the 3 veteran Bahui generals of Bu Rocks took the initiative to step back. Kuroba let out a sigh of relief, patted Nuo Al on the shoulder and said, come on, let the rhythm flow and use the big move, and leave the rest to me. Start with a big move. Nuo Al couldn't help being startled. As a former royal family, she would definitely think that this way of fighting is very barbaric. However, looking at the back standing in front of him, Nuo Al smiled and nodded heavily. I see. As soon as the words fell, Nuo Al's whole demeanor changed suddenly. The moment her hands clenched the magic wand jerky, Mamo suddenly stared. The magic power that used to be as violent as a wild horse was detonated with a bang. The light blue magic power came out directly through the body, turning into a wave of magic power and rolling around. In the beginning, I released all the magic power. Nuo Al is really a waste, he can't even control the magic power, let alone unlock grimoire. Nebra couldn't help but sarcasm, but the words were not finished yet. The next moment came to the scene, but made her pupils suddenly shrink. Endless blue light shone on Nuo Al's dusty magic book. As the page flipped quickly, lines of magic spells were revealed. Before the others could react, Nuo Al clenched the back of his hand with the magic wand, and with his veins protruding, he began to drink anxiously. First use the strongest defense to protect those who need protection, and then use the strongest attack to wipe out the enemy. Water creation magic. Sea Dragon's Lair. Boom. The berserk magic power immediately emptied Sifang Tianyu's water element, and the endless water waves rolled under it. A huge vortex layer swept away directly centered on Nozel, covering Nozel and others. This is defensive magic. Noah has learned magic. Nebra's expression changed dramatically. No, it should be said that even Nozel is no exception. In their eyes, Nuo Al has always been a novice who couldn't even play water polo not long ago. However, now that she spent one night with this young man who was looked down upon by the royal family, she was completely reborn. What did you do last night? What's so great about this, isn't it just a defensive magic? In this case, it's all a hindrance. That refugee will definitely regret finding a useless companion for himself. Solid gritted his teeth and cried out anxiously. Among the Silpha royal family, Nozel is the strongest in terms of magic power, followed by Noel. This made the 2 brothers and sisters obviously unacceptable. But the only thing that made them feel lucky was that Nuo Al's crappy magic control became their capital for wanton trampling. Now Nuo Al is suddenly able to use defensive magic. For them, apart from being shocked, there is also a little bit of luck. It's just that this fluke had just sprouted, and the next moment, the magic hurricane that hit them made their expressions change dramatically. Countless water waves, like a whirlpool, frantically gathered in the magic wand in Nuo Al's hand. A wave of magic power full of danger changed the expressions of Solid and Nebra drastically. Looking at Nuo Al, who had 2 long silver braids and a dress that swayed in the wind, his face was full of disbelief. This is the only attack magic I know, and it's my best. Nuo Al's expression froze suddenly, and he roared angrily. Water creation magic. Sea dragons roar. Roar. The sound of dragon chants suddenly soared into the sky, and the huge magic power exploded instantly like a bank bursting. The 100-meter huge water dragon rushed straight out of the sea dragon's lair in a tearing posture, and the next moment it rushed towards Mars and Lado Ross in a thunderous posture. The speed was so fast that it was just a blur in front of people's eyes. Under the huge momentum, he bluffed and went directly to the 2 of them. What a powerful magic! The complexions of the Brock's 3 who were a little further away could not help but change drastically. He shouted anxiously, "Mars, Rado Ross! Don't be brave, retreat quickly. Retreat." Rado Ross was stunned at first, but with a ferocious expression on his face, he laughed and said, "The magic power and attack of this royal princess are unexpected, but it's a pity to meet my lord, and Mars Diamond, this kind of attack alone can't do anything to us. Magic without injury, absorption." Rado Ross smiled ferociously, and the magic book on his body quickly flew away. Powerful magic power surged out, forming a vortex directly in front of him. Boom! The 100-meter sea dragon collided head-on in an instant, and under the huge impact force, a large wave of water was formed and rolled away. It even made Rado Ross, who was trying to absorb it, fall back 7 or 8 meters before barely stabilizing his body. He has a non-attribute means of absorbing magic power, but the speed of absorption is also limited. For example, a hole is just that small. If you poke it with a tower, you won't be able to swallow it for a while. Now Nuo Al releases the magic power in his body in an instant, and it is impossible to absorb the strength of the second-class magic power at once. However, before Rado Ross could react, Noel's coquettish shout sounded without warning. "Blast me!" Boom! The 100-meter-long sea dragon is transformed from endless magical sea water. The amount of water held is simply indescribable. At the moment of the collision, under the active detonation, a huge sea wave was directly formed, and the area with a radius of several kilometers was slapped head-on. The inexplicable move made the people in the field completely puzzled. However, the cold wind that rolled back in the next moment, in addition to making people feel bone-piercing, made people's expressions change drastically. Boom! The magic power dormant in Kuroba's body detonated instantly, and the magic pressure of Zero Domain, like a beam of light, went straight to the 9 heavens, covering the stone forest basin with a diameter of 10,000 meters. Feeling the frightening fluctuations in magic pressure, both General Bahui and the 3 of Nozel instantly understood what Kuroba was thinking. Use Noel's Sea Dragon Rage to cast alternative fusion magic. Ice creation magic Silver World. Boom! The violent pressure instantly transformed into absolute zero cold air. There was a slight stagnation in the sky and sea water, and the 3 of Nozel only felt that the whole world was temporarily white. When it became clear again, the huge stone forest basin instantly turned into a silver-white ice crystal world. Regardless of whether it was the stone forest, or the trees and land, together with the 5 members of General Bahui, there was no way they could escape in time. Together with the sea water, it was completely frozen. Looking at Kuroba, who transformed the huge basin with magic alone, and Solid and Nebra, who were in the frozen sea dragon's lair, their faces were full of horror. If just a moment ago, they were shocked by Nuo Al's sudden growth, so now they are shocked by the fact that the refugee in front of them possesses a level of zero-level magical power that surpasses that of ordinary regiment leaders. Especially with such a huge casting range in front of him, he was able to stand still without blushing or panting. This means that using this silver world is not Kuroba's limit. It's not easy for Nozel to control the magic power and unlock Grimoire in a short period of time. Now he can cast this kind of large-scale freezing magic. It's not easy for this young man. Nozel's cold and arrogant face appeared for the first time, fear. However, Bahui General is not a simple existence. I'm afraid it will be difficult to trap and kill them just by being frozen. We are also ready to fight. Quickly, Mars, hurry up and break these ice surfaces. Within the ice crystal, Lacrosse's crazy roar came out crazily. The non-attribute magic he possesses helps him resist part of the absolute zero cold in an instant. However, this kind of indiscriminate saturation attack is simply unstoppable. The only one who can fight for the greatest chance of escape is Mars with diamond magic. He is a turtle man with a diamond turtle shell on his body all the time. Don't worry, give me half a minute to get away. This kid's ice magic is true, but the lethality is not enough, just hold on. Mars said with a gloomy face. You mean, my magic is less aggressive? Kuroba smiled warmly. The inexplicable words made many people startled, and instantly attracted everyone's attention. Even the three of Bu Rocks, who were frozen and unable to move, rolled their eyes and looked at Kuroba. However, when he entered the scene, his pupils suddenly shrank, and the moment his eye sockets were almost cracked, he cried out in surprise. This is the fluctuation of thunder attribute magic power, and his magic book has dual attributes. Shouting like thunder, everyone's nerves suddenly tightened. Crackling lightning flashes appeared on the magic book in Kuroba's hand. Under the eyes of everyone, a second golden leaf stretched out from the Clover level magic book, forming a great visual impact with the original water blue leaves. Seeing this subtle change, everyone's soul was hit hard. The magic pressure of the zero domain just now, the large-scale freezing magic attack. In their eyes, the level of the magic book is definitely comparable to the four-leaf clover level of the magic emperor. However, the scene in front of them told them, this is nothing more than a clover level. So how powerful will the evolutionary magic book in front of me reach the level of two-leaf clover? This is extremely scary to think about. No wonder that fellow Chairshow told me not to touch this boy. Nozel looked serious. In his knowledge, there has never been a dual attribute magic book in the four-leaf clover kingdom. It's still a two-leaf clover grade. Brother Wong, take a quick look, he has swallowed magic power into his body, is he crazy? Nebra exclaimed in surprise. It stirred everyone's thoughts again. The endless magic power was swallowed into the lungs by Kuroba, and the free elemental particles around were swallowed up madly. Seeing Kuroba's belly swell like a balloon, an inexplicable and dangerous aura spread out. Crackling thunderbolts splashed wantonly from Kuroba's mouth. This is the first time they have seen such a terrifying gesture. Who the hell would eat his own magic? If you don't have diarrhea, it will be crushed, right? However, before they could react, a dragon's chant sounded like a piercing cloud and cracked stone, and rushed directly above the nine heavens Yunxiao. Thunder Dragon Slayer Magic, Thunder Dragon's Roar. Roar. The magical power accumulated in Kuroba's lungs was instantly detonated. Accompanied by the reverberation of the dragon chant, endless thunderbolts spewed out toward Mars and the others in a tearing gesture. Wherever it passed along the way, large air ripples were stirred up, and the ice crystal land was even more overwhelmed, and it was torn apart like paper paste. At this moment, the scene in front of him feels like a ray of light in the dark night. The speed was so fast that they appeared in front of Rado Ross and others in the blink of an eye. The violent scene shook everyone's nerves. Looking at the endless thunder that filled their vision, they only had time to let out an exclamation. Don't want. Boom. The sound of violent thunder reverberated across the sky like a bell. A large piece of ice crystal shattered and exploded. 2 hot blood arrows splashed out from inside. Bahui will be torn to pieces in an instant. At the same time, there were 2 figures, even more ragged, who quickly pulled away from the aftermath of the explosion and shot away. Watching this scene, the pupils of Solid, Nebra and the others contracted suddenly. A playful voice echoed again. If you want to leave, I'll give you a ride. Boom. A golden magic circle suddenly bloomed under Kuroba's feet. The zero-domain magic power dormant in the body exploded like a thunderbolt. Crackling thunderbolts full of destructive aura, the madness was suppressed and converged. Transformed by a bolt of thunder, the Fang Tianji, about 7 or 8 meters long, condensed out of thin air in an instant. The next moment, before everyone could react, Kuroba's 5 fingers on his right hand suddenly caught the void, and his muscles stood out like a rock. With a sudden force from his right hand, he threw it directly towards the fleeing Mars. Thunder Dragon Slayer Magic Thunder Dragon Fang Tianji. Boom. Thunder is roaring, the air is tearing. The huge Thunder Dragon Fang Tianji, which spanned 1,000 meters in an instant, appeared behind Mars. Diamond Creation Magic, Heavy Armor Demon. Non-attribute magic, Devouring Vortex. Two rapid roars echoed in panic. The moment the magic had just been condensed, the roaring thunder and crackling sound had already swept over. Boom! A thunderous explosion rose into the sky, and the huge impact was released like a bank bursting. Suddenly, the two of them were directly rushed out. Everything along the way, ice crystals, rocks, big trees, etc., were directly torn to pieces. Seeing this astonishing scene, while Nebra and others were shocked, Nozel couldn't help raising his eyebrows, and quickly broke through the ice crystal and rushed out. However, just after taking a few steps, a huge gust of wind and smoke gushed out like a fountain. Under the billowing smoke, it turned into a mist that filled the sky, directly covering the two of Mars and the large forest. Moreover, this situation has intensified and spread at an accelerated rate. Nozel, who watched this scene, couldn't help but stop. Brother Wang, why don't you chase after them? With your strength, you will definitely be able to keep them. Solid couldn't help asking. In his eyes, being a royal family should be above everything else. At least, in this situation, facing Kuroba, a refugee, they should do something. Calm down, this is the chief mentor of the Diamond Kingdom, Lotus's smoke weakening magic, suddenly pursued and caught in it, you don't even think about getting out. Nozel glanced indifferently. What's more, this time Diamond Kingdom dispatched 5 8-way generals, but 3 were left behind. Once it is passed back, the whole country will definitely be shocked. This time, that boy has made a great contribution. Hurry up and let Lord Magic Emperor come here. Making the Magic Emperor come here in person. Nebra couldn't help being startled, and stammered, will that make a big deal out of a molehill? Making a fuss. Nozel couldn't help but turn cold, and said, are you questioning my judgment? It's still because I have indulged you too much all the time. Please contact me quickly. Our first task is to confirm the identity of this young man. It is fine if he is a resident of this country. If he is a person from an enemy country, it will be a huge crisis. I know, Brother Wang. Nebra's face flushed, and it was the first time seeing Nozel that he would act so solemnly. Most importantly, he also reprimanded her as a younger sister in public. However, in the face of Nozel's accumulated dignity, Nebra immediately set up the magic phone. Moshi Moxie, I'm Julius, I'm busy right now, if there's nothing urgent, I'll reply later. The voice of Magic Emperor came from the magic phone. While speaking, Julius, the Magic Emperor, was obviously about to hang up. Looking at the Magic Emperor, who is always interested in novel magic and will lose the chain when necessary. Nozel's expression froze, and he sighed helplessly and said, Lord Magic Emperor, I met the boy you mentioned, and I was attacked by the 8-way general of the Diamond Kingdom just now. I found out that the boy has 0 magic power, extreme magic pressure, and a dual attribute magic book. What? A dual attribute magic book? Wait for me for 10 minutes. No, I'm going to find Cobb now, that guy is always lazy, I'll be right there. Listening to the phone bug, there was a stumbling sound, the Magic Emperor who had no morals at all. Solid and Nebra present were dumbfounded. They have never been treated like this. For a long time, the Magic Emperor gave them the impression that they were serious, dignified and the strongest existence. However, he can't be blamed for this. For the Magic Emperor, the rare dual attribute magic book is completely a king bomb. Kuroba, are you alright? I can bandage you. No, I can find someone to bandage it for you. As a royal family, I don't know these things, let alone bandage people casually. Although, you are a bit special to me. Nuo Al released the magic book, watched Kuroba return, and quickly walked up to meet him. However, facing a group of brothers and sisters, the Tsunere attribute was undoubtedly activated. However, just after taking a few steps, Nuo Al's expression froze, and he staggered and fell straight forward, his pretty face was full of tiredness. Seeing this scene, Nozel's face changed drastically, and he hurriedly planned to rush over. However, a crackling electric light pierced the sky like a horse, before he hugged Nuo-Al into his arms. What a fast speed, this is the elementalization of mana. Solid couldn't help exclaiming. If you want to divide magic control into levels, there are initially 3 levels. First, elementary magic control. Second, the magic skin. Third, the elementalization of magic energy. The former is a necessary condition for becoming a mage. The second is to increase the manipulation of magic power, which is precisely controlled by laying skin-like magic power on the body surface. It can effectively control the consumption of mana, and at the same time enhance the influence of mana on the environment and the absorption of mana elements in the air. The third is to activate the cells of the whole body through magic power, assimilate with one's own magic power, and then step into elementalization in an instant to increase one's own speed and strength to the extreme. It can be said that even the leader may not be able to control this method. Monster. Solid couldn't help uttering the word between his teeth. When I saw Nozel with a black face, I couldn't help being shocked. Shut up, hurry up and contact the medical magister at the border. How long do you want Noel to be hugged? Nozel gritted his teeth and said coldly. The hands were undoubtedly clenched to the extreme, and the veins on the back of the hands were highlighted, and they trembled slightly. For sister-in-law, this is his limit. When I think about it, the baby sister I want to have sex with in the future, I am afraid that I will come to the door every day to find someone to fight to the death. Black. Kuroba. You smell so good. A slight mosquito-like sound came. Looking at Nuo-Al, who had a tired face and passed out, Kuroba rolled his eyes helplessly. The royal family over there, hurry up and take her back. After she wakes up, remember to remind her to lose weight. The meat on her buttocks is a bit thick. Hips. Nozel's ears were twitching. Looking at Kuroba's back, while walking quickly, he said word by word, "Boy, I want to fight you." "Hi, I'm late, Nozel, what were you talking about?" The Magic Emperor's voice sounded suddenly, and soon 2 figures appeared in the sky. In addition to Julius, who is the Magic Emperor, there is also one of his entourage magicians, Cobb, who is good at space magic. As soon as this person appeared, he looked around, and when his eyes fell on Kuroba, his face was filled with disbelief. "Lord Magic Emperor, allow me to take the liberty to ask you a question. Is he the boy you said has 0-level magic power, extreme magic pressure, and dual attribute magic books, and intends to make an exception to include him in the Magic Knights?" The small voice was like thunder at this moment, shaking everyone's nerves. As members of the Magic Knights, even Solid and Nebra, who are royals, must pass the assessment before they can join the Magic Knights. This is not something that can be achieved solely by the royal status class. Now the Magic Emperor actually intends to break this iron rule for a refugee, which is too shocking. Ahem, Cobb, you are talking too much. Magic Emperor coughed dryly. Master Magic Emperor, didn't you ask me to say this? Otherwise, you wouldn't tell me this, and you know I can't control my mouth. Cobb said suddenly. Shut up. The Magic Emperor glared, and said, I originally meant to let him become the leader of the Magic Knights, the new leader. What? Not to mention Cobb, Solid and Nebra this time, even Nozel was surprised. Among the 9 Knight Orders, only the 3 Knight Orders led by the royal family are hereditary, and each generation is inherited by the royal family. It can be said to have a long history of existence. Although the history of the other Magic Knights is not long, they have also gone through each head, step by step from a member of the Magic Knights, and finally they are established. Now that the Magic Emperor opened his mouth, Kuroba was unexpectedly recruited as the new leader, which caught people off guard. The Magic Emperor obviously didn't care about the shock of the others, and resumed his usual solemnity and calmly said, Kuroba, are you willing to accept my invitation? Looking at the rare and serious Magic Emperor, Kuroba also wanted to be a high-ranking official for nothing. However, he checked the system just now, and the requirement to go to the assessment site of the Magic Knights must be based on the identity of a freshman. This undoubtedly made Kuroba have no choice but to give up the sweet pastry on his lips. Getting something for nothing is a good thing, but Kuroba doesn't want to lose one of the tasks of the system. Sorry, I refuse. Kuroba shook his head and said. As soon as these words fell, many people in the field immediately froze. Even the calmness on the Magic Emperor's face disappeared at once, and he said anxiously, Kuroba, do you think there will be any trouble if you make an exception to be promoted to the head of the regiment? Don't worry, as the Magic Emperor of the Four-Leaf Clover Kingdom, I have the confidence to convince the royal family and those fellows in the council. In front of him, Kuroba, who is only in his early 15 or 16 years old, has zero magic power, extreme magic pressure, and most importantly, a dual-attribute magic book. The Magic Emperor, who always likes to look for talents, is not willing to let Kuroba slip away under his nose. No, Magic Emperor, you misunderstood. With my strength, I still plan to start from the primary assessment step by step. Kuroba said with a warm smile. The Magic Emperor was startled for a moment, and then laughed loudly. Haha, it seems that this was a false alarm. I thought that the conditions offered were not enough. If you persist, you will almost be given the position of Magic Emperor. However, for a genius like you, it's a good thing to go in through the back door, but it's even more genius to go up from the step-by-step assessment. When you come to participate in the assessment, I believe that the 9th Regiment will definitely help you fight for a bloody head. Magic Emperor smiled, and secretly relieved in his heart. It can be said that these words are from his heart. He has seen many geniuses, and each one has something to be proud of. For example, Vengeance, Yami, Fugolian and others were recommended by him to join the group. After all, for geniuses, this should be regarded as a unique privilege from ordinary people. Many will accept this arrangement as well. It can be said that the Kuroba in front of him is an unrepeatable genius no matter in terms of magic power, magic pressure, or possession of grimoire. Of course, if the Magic Emperor knew about this proposal, Kuroba would have already followed him back to the capital, let alone because of the system. Magic Emperor probably didn't know what expression he would have. Since you agree, Magic Emperor, if there is nothing else, I will leave first. Kuroba glanced at Nuo Al. She took the high-level magic control potion, and the magic book has been completely unlocked. Over time, the final move, the Yuya Armor of Valkyrie, the final move, can also be learned quickly with a little practice. Not needed for now, Kuroba continues to help. What's more, Kuroba also wants to use this time to walk more in the Four-Leaf Clover Kingdom to see if he can trigger more random check-in tasks. At the same time, he mastered the magic he possessed. Are you leaving? Can you show me your magic book? Although I know this request is presumptuous, Magic Emperor couldn't help but asked in a hurry. For the Magic Emperor, searching for talents is for the Four-Leaf Clover Kingdom, and hunting for new magic is his personal hobby. Dual-attribute magic books, that was unheard of. At least, not in the Kingdom of Four-Leaf Clover. No problem. Kuroba nodded. With his backhand, he took out the magic book that had already turned half silver and half golden, and displayed it in front of everyone. Oh, it has become a 2-leaf clover grade. One leaf is golden, and the other is white. This is the first time I have encountered such a situation. The Magic Emperor let out a sigh, but did not take the magic book. For a magician, books are the second life, and they must not be touched casually. If you touch it wantonly, it can be regarded as a threat. After all, once the magic book is lost, its strength will be greatly reduced. Can you cast 2 magic attributes at the same time? Magic Emperor became interested and couldn't help asking. Manipulate 2 magical attributes at the same time. The people present couldn't help being shocked. Nozel couldn't help but said, Master Magic Emperor, one person can control one kind of magic power, and a magic book is needed to assist in forming it. This already requires a lot of heart and energy, let alone casting 2 kinds at the same time, which is several times more difficult, and even increase by 10 times. Once the magic power is out of control during the casting process, it may cause a backlash and run amok. At that time, it may harm Kuroba's safety. Nozel is a super sister control, but also a person with clear grievances. Straight to the point, pointing out the dangers involved. The Magic Emperor touched the tip of his nose, and said slightly apologetically, Kuroba, I was too reckless to forget this. However, the magic I have is related to time. If you are willing to try, I will surround you with time magic. Once the magic power goes berserk, I will directly seal your time and let the magic power stay in the moment of runaway. You won't have an accident. Of course, this attempt is just my personal request and has nothing to do with the status of Magic Emperor. You can refuse. Dual attribute magic used at the same time. Kuroba was also a little surprised by Magic Emperor's proposal. However, Kuroba has always known the power of fusion magic. That power increased exponentially. What's more, the magic book in Chin Yu's hand, according to the system's description, can increase in level as the magic mastered increases. Once you do a few more tasks, at that time, you will get 3, 4, or 5 magic attributes. This also cannot always rely on companions to fight and cooperate to cast fusion magic. Now there is the Magic Emperor himself as a sparring partner, which is not the kind of treatment that anyone has. I want to try it, Kuroba said with a nod. This decision surprised even Nozel. The Magic Emperor took a meaningful look and said, "You kid, you are not only a genius, I am surprised by your courage. However, I just like your way of pursuing the unknown. Only in this way can you become stronger and stronger. If everyone can be like you, why won't our four-leaf clover kingdom become stronger?" After a long speech, the two royal families, Solid and Nebra, felt a little embarrassed. The Magic Emperor also restrained his smile, and his face became more solemn. "I don't want to talk nonsense, let's start when you are ready." A soft golden light bloomed in the hands of the Magic Emperor, and instantly formed a golden translucent sphere that enveloped Kuroba. On the periphery of the golden ball, there is another chain of time, similar to a belt, covered with inscriptions. Feeling the strong magic power, Kuroba silently pondered the gap between himself and the Magic Emperor, then raised his right hand. When the palms were facing up, everyone's nerves were tense all of a sudden, and their eyes were locked on Kuroba's body. It can be said that everyone present is eager to see if this genius, who is highly respected by the Magic Emperor, can control two magic attributes at the same time. Hum. The buzzing sound of the air suddenly sounded. The magic power of gold and white quickly emerged in Kuroba's palm. As soon as it was released, Kuroba thought, and the huge magic pressure, like a frenzy, squeezed away the two magic forces. To make magic take shape, to be aggressive and to compress magic power are absolutely indispensable things. The moment he saw Kuroba's actions, the Magic Emperor's expression changed, and he shouted anxiously, "Boy, I just let you control two magic powers at the same time, and didn't let you forcefully fuse them at the same time, which will cause a more powerful explosion. You stop quickly." Puff. A slight sonic boom sounded in Kuroba's hands without warning, and the two strands of magical power, which were originally stable, suddenly lost their balance, and they let out instantly like a wild horse running wild. Magic Emperor's expression changed drastically, and he shouted loudly, "Time creates magic, time binding." Boom. The golden light exploded in an instant, and the magic power in Kuroba's hands seemed to stop. The Magic Emperor didn't have time to think about it. He grabbed it with his right hand, and the golden time sphere directly imprisoned the magic power in Kuroba's hand, and flew out backwards. The Gate of Space. Cobb hastily used space magic to transfer the time sphere directly to the sky above the thousands of meters of mountains and forests. Boom. Berserk is magic power, which was detonated suddenly after breaking away from the confinement. The piercing cold wind and violent thunder, like raging waves, ravaged the entire mountain forest. The land with a radius of 1 kilometer was directly frozen and shattered. When everything returned to calm, the entire mountain forest was beyond recognition. The earth is even more desolate, which makes people stunned. Facing Kuroba, who failed on the first try, Solid and Nebra breathed a sigh of relief. At least, in their eyes, geniuses will also fail, and that can make up for their young hearts. For Kuroba, though, he was stunned and a flash of light flashed through his mind. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.